Yes, indeed. A pleasant good morning to all and sundry. Yes, it is Saturday morning, and we are having a special on the corridor transformation, courtesy the corridor transformation, because there's a special anti-crime initiative that is being bandied about all over the place, and we thought we should be part and parcel of that awakening. It is indeed an awakening, and run and inspired by persons who have taken a stance. What is that stance? Enough is enough. Enough is enough, and as a consequence, and whether or not it is religious based, whether it is mundane based, whether it is carnally based, is irrelevant, frankly, because the objective is to address this question, the burning, almost intractable situation of crime and criminality, having regard to the fact what 3 SOEs, that's a state of emergency. That is a country in total and absolute turmoil. And therefore, the people, I have always said, and we have said on this program, that the solution to the problem is an all-of-community approach. Well, this is another edition, another element in that process of ensuring that we have a sustainable solution to the problem of crime and criminality and all of the attending and causative agents. You know, our young people, school will be closing officially in July for the August vacations. But guess what? With that, some 13, and I'm being conservative here, some 13,000 young people most likely will permanently stop schooling, come out of the secondary system, looking for work, looking to find their place in this society, looking to make their contribution one way or another. But unfortunately, they will also meet those elements that are wreaking havoc in Trinidad and Tobago, whether it be from the gang culture, or whether it be from unemployment, or whether it be from lack of opportunities, and that has to do with bread and butter issues. With me, of course, she will introduce herself, and then we will get down into the discussion as to what is the purpose, what is the rolling out of this particular religious-based initiative, but designed to treat with the crime and criminality. Yes, indeed. Yes, we can make it if we try.
When the treasury was full and happy time, some was enjoying.
So once again, of course, welcome to this. I know that you never expected us to be. This is Saturday morning, first and foremost. So I want to tell you that. So you'll see, of course, the sunshine coming through the curtains in the background. Yes, but at the same time, it is a very serious time indeed. And I wanted to have her introduce herself because this initiative is called United in Prayer. I mean, you don't want a more powerful statement than that. But to what end? To what end? So I have with me in studio deeply religious individual, as I said, will introduce herself. I keep it a secret to myself until she discloses who she is. And we're going to be discussing, of course, in a very frank way, the situation, quite apart from the causative agents, but we are looking for solutions. And therefore, she is part and parcel, or the face, of what will be called United in Prayer. A pleasant good morning, let me say. And of course, as I've said, say what you have to say in terms of an introduction, and then we will get down into the nitty-gritty of the issues.
Pleasant and blessed Saturday morning to all viewers, all listeners, all over Trinidad and Tobago, all over the world. I am my birthright name, Anthony Rostons, and I'm also a ordained minister. I carry the name Reverend Mother Anthony Rostons.
Right, okay, beautiful introduction. So you know who she is, Reverend Mother, right? I will call, for my purposes, I'll call her Reverend Mother. And of course, she is going to be talking about an exercise that is sponsored by, or should I say, initiated by the Social Workers for Christ. Social Workers for Christ, yes. And of course, it's a spiritual alliance in the context of it is ecumenical. Every church, every religious organization is invited, and its hope will participate, whether it be Muslim, whether it be Hindus, whether it be 7 Days Adventists, and we can go on and on and on. I mean, the Catholics, the Anglicans, and we can go on and on. Roman Catholic and English Catholic, to be more specific in terms of the Catholic aspect of it. Reverend Mother, tell me, I have introduced what the whole purpose of this is all about. Is an anti-crime initiative 1, 2. It is based on a religious fundamental. Tell me why you got involved. Why would you want to associate yourself with this? I mean, the answer is obvious, but we need to get it from you.
Well, first and foremost, being part of Trinidad and Tobago and the crime situation, and it affects all of us. Even though it may not hit our doors one by one on a daily basis, I mean, one cry is all cry. We are a nation that comes together as one, or supposed to come together as one. This has nothing to do with PNM or UNC or politics or anything of that sort. It have to deal with individual, self-introspection. It goes deeper. Crime is not from the surface, right? It does not only start from the home alone, but even from a woman that gives birth within 9 months. And what are we giving birth to? All right, so I choose to get involved as a minister, because I believe that my voice can be heard throughout the nation, or as far as this media can go. It might be able to, soak in deeply into minds, into hearts, into souls, that people could start standing in their mirror and getting a clear reflection of who they are, what are my purpose in life, tapping into God, tapping into the source, we always pray, and we always keep prayer meeting, and we always by some corner, and we always trying to invite a youth to church on a Sunday or a Saturday, in whatever organization or whatever religion. It's not just based on the spiritual Baptist, but all come together in one to unite so that we could stop and bring down the level of crime to the point that it could stop. That maybe 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 2 years, you never know, with the intervention of God tapping in spiritually, and not half-heartedly but wholeheartedly, we can get this crime situation under control.
Fantastic. Of course, the whole exercise begins in East Port of Spain, very significant. And of course, this program, the corridor transformation, has always been focused on the corridor from Kainaj in the west to Toko in the east, along the east-west corridor, and all of the hinterlands or the communities that fit within that parameter. But it will be, the first edition will be on the 12th of next month?
Yes.
Right, the 12th of next month at the corner of George and Prince Street. They will start. Tell me, what are some of the background work that would have gone into this exercise? Is it that other churches would have been invited, because I know that it is being led by a very important organization, the Social Workers for Christ. They are leading the thing, but they are the organizers. But it is really an ecumenical thing where everybody else is invited. But is it that there's a reach out? You would be going to various probably media houses to sensitize people and so on. I want to get a little feel as to what's the background in order to make this exercise the success that I'm sure you have anticipated it to be.
Okay, well, we want to put it out there via TV station, via radio station, via flyers, via word of mouth. So it's not just, the spiritual Baptist community or the spiritual Baptist organization, but, sending out the word via medias, social medias, you know, we just want to reach out. And in that form, we choose to do it through flyers, we choose to do it through word of mouth, and we also choose to do it via social media, we choose to do it via radio station, via television, so that all churches are invited, all religions are invited, so that people can see that we still have that bond and we still have that unity in TNT, you know, because I mean, yes, all religions we have our stigmas, we have, people choose to forget about God, there is no God, and all these type of things, but we want to make a difference among other groups that has been already going by the highways and byways and praying and having vigils, and this is just one new group added that we believe that we can make a difference. Our voices can be heard amongst the multitude that is out there already and has already started, and we just want to be a part of them by taking part and doing our part, you know, performing our roles and functions in whatever area and aspect of Trinidad and Tobago that needs us to reach out to them in whatever way we can. But for
Wonderful.
right now, we are basing on spirituality. We are starting with prayer. And without God, all things will be impossible. But with God, all things are possible.
Wonderfully said. Wonderfully said. And the the participation in terms of support. Are you expecting that the leadership of the various religious organization or denominational organizations? I know that you don't like the word denominational in this particular project. You want to talk about religious because of
Yes.
course the people worship in different ways. But as you have said behind the scene or before this interview, um, it leads to only one God,
Of course.
right? And therefore, from that perspective, religion may not be an appropriate term to use, having regard to the ecumenical nature of the exercise.
Right.
Tell me something. What do you expect the outcome to be? Because we just have about 5 more minutes. So what the outcome you expect to be? What do you expect to get out of
Well,
this?
I think after, having this one interview and having maybe two or three within the next couple of days, the word would have been spread throughout Trinidad and Tobago and as far as this media goes. So I believe that everybody could probably make a time, take a time out if it's just a 5 minutes, and let's just come together and pray. The word of God says no amount of prayers can shift God from his throne. But if we do it wholeheartedly and sincerely and really pour out and cry out to God on this crime situation in TNT, trust and believe we will have positive results. So I am waiting to see come the 12th, not maybe a large or a huge crowd, but as much as my voice can reach out to hearts and souls and minds, I pray that we have a wonderful turnout, and we will turn out in decency and in order to conduct our prayer service, you know, in no other name but in God Almighty.
Yes, indeed.
name.
Of course, united we pray, united in prayer,
Yes.
as you see it, of course, in the brochure or the flyer behind us that was brought on into the camera view. Let me ask you this finally. Um, what words would you have to the general community, one, and in particular those young people, over 13,000 of which will be added to the population in terms of out of school and the possibility of gravitating to adding or compounding the crime situation? What words would you give to them in this closing stage? One, the general population, and two, that specific group that may be exposed and maybe contemplating joining gangs and the violence that we have been seeing both in school, outside of school, and of course home invasions and all the other criminal murders, for example, that are taking place in this country.
Okay. Firstly, I want to touch on the crime situation is a mindset. It's a social thing, and as I say, sometimes we always want to blame the parents and we want to, but a child, when you make a child, you make a child, but you don't make them mine, and I'm saying again to society, let's just get on your knees. If you can't kneel, sit, lie, lean some way, and just cry out to God. If you just take a moment and tap into God, sincere, just how I am talking to the nation and society, this is just the same way you can talk to God and interact with God and ask Him to intervene in every area and aspect of your life. Meaning, in your going out, in your coming in, covering your children, your grandchildren, and even the young people that will be adding to society that has already finished CXC and getting their results, and try to focus on doing good. There is something that is my motto, and I'm going to share it with the nation. In every situation, whether good, bad, or indifferent, ask yourself this one question: if Jesus was in this situation, what he would have done, and he would have only decided to do good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, once again, of course, just reintroduce yourself now that we are ending. I love to do it that way. It's different from other programs where you make the introduction vicariously or on behalf of. But I prefer the individuals who are here to introduce themselves, and they get more familiar and much more comfortable with the environment. Many of whom may not be professionals or may not or be on for the first time, and therefore you want to make them as comfortable as possible. So just reintroduce yourself, and then of course we will make our departure on this Saturday morning.
Okay, so once again, my name is Reverend Mother Anthony. It will be a face that you will be seeing very often when it comes to prayer, when it comes to my country, my society. Here I am. I can offer prayers, I can offer help in whatever way I can. Reach out to the organization. If you want to reach out to me personally, you just come on and let's unite and pray and do our thing and tap into God and see where TNT ends up.
Yes, people, of course, this has been, of course, a feature of the corridor transformation, but the entire exercise is organized by the group called, or the organization called, the Social Workers for Christ, and of course, they are on a spiritual mission to, and I don't think it's a strong word, get rid of the crime scourge and all of the negativities that is associated with it. And of course, as we said, and the Reverend is correct, over 13,000 young people are leaving permanently the secondary system. Of course, making way for those who are to come in. But the fact is that they are coming out, but joining a very hostile world. And of course, the world of work, the world of crime, the world opportunities need to also be addressed, and therefore we have a duty to not just pray, but to also make all the overtures or all that which is necessary in order to make these young people's life comfortable. After all, they are the future of Trinidad and Tobago. So see you next time, and of course this will be the first of many. It will be, of course, posted up on Facebook and YouTube today, maybe just after we would have finished here. Time now is just about, the time is what? Let me see, let me make sure. I'll take off my glasses to see, just imagine that. So the time now is just about 2 minutes to 11 o'clock, yes, on a Saturday morning. Imagine I had to take off my glasses to see. So what have I glasses for? But that's for next time. The public glasses isn't good at all. All right. So, but have a wonderful rest of the day, and of course, don't forget the corridor transformation will be on in earnest from 8 o'clock in the night from Monday night, and of course the ground report on 91.1 Talk City, of course by TTT. Yes, Andy and I will be on that program from 6 to 9. But stay tuned on TTT. The Learned Reverend will also be on TTT from 9 o'clock. That is when I am finished at 91.1. We just 2 or 3 rooms apart. And I will be joining her to talk about this very important United in Prayer initiative, a national one to address the question specifically of crime and criminality.
So our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it have one